Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the Indie Credible Podcast. This is episode 49. I'm one of your hosts, Xander Scullion, and joined with me is Jeffrey Wittenhagen. What's up, Jeff?
What's going on? It's been another week of craziness. Still trucking through some Silk Song, but not here to talk about that this week. Figured though, there's a little thing that came up this last couple days, and something that where are you tracking all of the requirements with tariffs on stuff that's being sent to us, and how it's interesting.
I haven't been tracking it on that end. I have seen where things have went up in price, because I work in the food industry and watched, food go up like $5 or more in the last 2 weeks. So, dude, it's nuts.
Yeah.
And consoles are getting a price increase. And it's crazy to think that here we are in 2025. These consoles are like 5 years old. Around this time, usually we would have like a more affordable, smaller unit, but now people are going to be paying almost up to $300 more for a console that came out 5 years ago. It's insane, Dan. It's crazy.
Well, the specific thing that I'm referencing to is affecting us if we want to buy things online. And it's more so with the indie creators, because I had backed a magazine
Hmm.
on Kickstarter called like Ninty Fresh. And I've been supporting Paul for years and years. He did a magazine, really awesome Switch player, which is a little small form, continual, it was like monthly for a while magazine. He moved to like big form books, and now he's doing this like Ninty Fresh magazine. It's going to cover all Nintendo, bigger magazine, normal magazine. And it's always been cool. Well, I started getting this email like a week or two ago. Didn't have anything on it, like who, but it was like this random website says pay this tariff, otherwise you're not going to get your package. It didn't say how much or any of this stuff. And I look online and it says this is a known, there's known scams for this. So I'm like, well, shit, I don't even know if it's something that I ordered.
Ooh.
And as of a day or two ago, it finally says coming from Paul, his last name. And I'm like, oh, I actually recognize the name because I'm like, I've been supporting this dude for years. Well, let me look, because the thing is that there are companies that do tariffs, and I found out that the company, which there's known scams against, is like a cheap, affordable company to use. So, like an indie creator would use a cheaper shipping with them instead of using UPS or USPS, like we would do. Like you go through this tinier company that would, like Indicia's one here, where it like you send everything to one spot and then they ship internationally for us to help save money instead of using what I do, which is just UPS or USPS. Um,
Hmm.
but so like I went and I was like, I sent him a message on Kickstarter, and then I went to his page for the magazine. There are tons of comments saying, "Hey, this guy, he's not responsive in the last like week and a half on this." Apparently, it's been going on for a while now. I didn't know. I just found out like the last day.
Wow.
So I don't know if he just didn't know and then shipped out a bunch of stuff and he's been shipping forever, so it never was a problem until now, or what's going on. But I don't want to click on this thing because people are saying that it costs more than what they paid for the Kickstarter just to get the package. 30,
Wow.
40, $50. It's a magazine. Like you're talking about like a magazine for, I'm good. Like I will wait until there's distribution in the US, which sucks though. We can't buy things overseas. Now this could matriculate to ordering things on eBay or stuff like that, right? Or an Etsy store or
Yeah.
anything. So I would say be careful out there as you're doing things because there's also likely a learning curve. And I would say, even with Paul's thing, probably not done intentionally, probably didn't know, honestly.
Right.
And now,
Yeah.
now he's got to figure out with probably hundreds, if not thousands of magazines going out, how he's going to fix this. Because if it's $1,000 times 30, $40, that's 30, $40,000 is not what that isn't what a magazine like that earns. So, um, what do you do? And of course, he could increase the price with the next one, but that doesn't help this one. And how does he make it honest and all the things? I mean, if I was him, I would tell everyone, yeah, don't pay it. Have it all get sent back to me. and you could either choose to pay the extra money and I'll send it out, or
Get some
and for
reimbursement. Yeah.
well, and for me, it's like Kickstarter's also just supporting the idea, so I wouldn't even ask for reimbursement for me for this
Hmm.
project because I'm supporting the dude. Other people are going to need their money back because it's how it
Yeah.
is.
That's
Not getting the product.
crazy.
Yeah, because Kickstarter's not a marketplace. It's you back somebody's idea and hopefully you get something. That's kind of the idea behind it. But yeah, the tariffs on the games though is a wild thing. It's tariffs on goods, everything. So just be cognizant, people. They're crazy.
Yeah. I mean, shitty situations are like opportunities for shitty people. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we see it with like consoles and games with the scalpers. That's a good example, you know.
Dude,
So
dude, do you know how many scalpers there are on Roblox?
what?
My kid has been using Roblox for over 5 years. And so the wild thing is that people would like scam her out of stuff when she was young and didn't know any better. Like
Mhm.
there would be these like exclusive items you could get for certain games, and people would like man in the middle attack and steal it as she's doing the transaction, which is like 4 Robux, which is from real money that she would earn for doing chores around the house. Roblox is like, not our problem. And she lost like tons of money. And then they would ban her on stuff. Craziness. But the thing that I thought was interesting is there's a Cash App thing for teens. And so my
Mhm.
daughter's the teen, and she asked me if she could do Cash App because she's developing content in Roblox now. But the weird thing was is that, and as a parent, like you can go and monitor it all and approve all the transactions. So it's actually a really good thing to build responsibility within your kid.
Mhm.
However, I look on there and this account she's had since she's had Roblox. There's been people trying to scam hundreds of dollars out of her since 2020. Like legit people. And their little pictures are on it, and I can see it all now. And I'm seeing it. And she never got charged because obviously she had no money in the account. But if she actually, say she was saving up and had allowances over the years and had hundreds of bucks, like people would scam her out of her money.
That's fucked.
It's crazy.
That's
And they're doing,
fucked.
yeah, and it's all from Roblox.
Damn.
People are crazy, man. People are bad, especially when money is involved. It gets So, like, it's like be careful out there with
Mm.
people trying to scam you. And the tariffs are real, though. I did look up, and that company is legit. It's just that there are people impersonating. So until I actually found the name of a package of something that I actually was expecting did purchase, I was like, I didn't trust it because I didn't know what I was getting. I support a lot of shit. So yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, on a more interesting note, much more positive note, because
Yeah.
you showed me a picture yesterday of something what you've been working on, and it's all coming together, and it kind of slides into our show. We got to talk about Kyle's trials.
Oh yeah, yeah. The picture which will be up that I showed you is actually finally got over here the NES boxed wall done to do.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what I have is I have some of Kyle's games here, not all of them, like the high value, the really personal stuff actually put into a separate storage that I don't have yet. It's with all my stuff. And that, so I have a fraction of my things here. But I did make a display because I got my shelving that I built in Georgia. Like it was way before Georgia. It was back when my daughter was born in Indiana, like years ago. But it's to display NES boxes forward. And so I put all of his boxes that I handpicked out, and I kind of organized them in categories. So like the top ones are like the ones that I feel like are the classics. I have ones that are more action exploration. I got shoot 'em up one. He had a ton of ones, and they were all up in display, like up above his doors and shit across his entire condo, the Retro Zam. And it was like all movie based shit. So you'd have like
That's so cool.
Stallone and Schwarzenegger. So I have a couple rows of that down there, and they're all from his collection. It's not every single one because he has a lot of other games that are there's not enough space.
Yeah.
But I just made like cool little fun collection the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it because I feel like it's something that's this progressively like coming together, and it's kind of cool that we can kind of like have it on the show to kind of document it that way too, because there was a time that you were just moving into the place you're at now and you were just slowly unpacking and now it's finally coming together and that shelf looks so cool, man. I saw it and I'm like, that's dope.
Yeah, and I mean, I built the actual shelf to specifications to give it space and everything. You can fit 6 games, but 5 looks nicer across the row.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's going to be a like almost a prestige shelf once I move and finally retire from the military. Like it's going to be its own little like classics stuff. I love doing it, and of course, over my shoulder over here, the little light that you see, that's actually a couple of my paintings I actually hung up. So I hung up some stuff, as well as there's a Castlevania Bloodlines. It's just like a picture that somebody was selling at a convention years ago that I bought. And I feel like it's just a print too. I think it's a
Yeah.
print of like a magazine cover or something. Because it's the art from Bloodlines. It's one of the ones that Kyle and I always played too. So a lot of it goes back to nostalgia. I've known him for, I knew him my entire life. So I have so many little like tributes. And it's always cool to document. And as you mentioned, like it is really cool to document history, which is why I enjoy doing podcasting and why I don't like a strict like script
Mhm.
on anything I ever do in content. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
more fun just to riff and let it all grow. Especially like the other couple of things that I added. I actually added another thing to the list too. And
Oh, nice. Well,
yeah.
is that what you've been playing lately? Have you been had
Um it is what I've been playing lately, but it's not indie stuff.
ah
So there's been a few things, and one leads into something else I added. So it's a couple things for the PC that you and I have been talking about. And so
mhm.
the first one is I had mentioned that when I was unpacking, I found all my old Guitar Hero guitars and a bunch of stuff, but we don't have our Xbox 360. The Xbox 360 with all our music is in storage. It's in my gaming storage. So I started looking around, and there's a program for free called Clone Hero. And so yesterday I decided to start messing around with Clone Hero a little bit. It's pretty cool. It looks just like Guitar Hero, and you can get music packs from people. So it has its own like music that they have for Clone Hero, and then you can like with a quick Google search find pretty much all these packs that people have been making for years. Like there's a horror movie pack, there's a video game metal. There's like tons of stuff. You could even find Guitar Hero 3 or 5 or whatever. They have like all the packs that you can find. And it literally has like guitar or whatever was created. And then later on, they have drums and other things. The interesting thing is, I have a drum set that's plug-in, so I could test it yesterday. So that was a
Ah.
fun game night because you need a wireless Xbox dongle or Windows dongle to play the Guitar Hero guitars. I have one, but it's in storage with the damn 360s. So I ordered one. It's on Amazon. They have third parties make them now. I think it supports up to 8 devices. So once I plug it in, it'll be good to go. But the drums work great with the program. Here's where the rabbit hole went down. The wife came down and she liked to play guitar and also do vocals.
Mhm.
And so Clone Hero doesn't support vocals. It has the damn things like karaoke, so you could still sing along, or somebody could sing along, but it doesn't score it. There's another program, also free, called YARG, yet another game, or yet another rhythm game, is what it's called. Yeah, and this one is basically Rock Band. Like it's like the if the other one's Guitar Hero with the circles, this one's Rock Band with the dots. Um, does the same shit just as the other one, but it scores vocals. And
Ah.
I don't have a microphone, and I only have one USB right now in my little dock, so I could only plug in one device. So I have like this microphone here that I'm not using for this podcast. But but she was doing vocals and it was picking it up on the Legion Go. That's my main PC. So it was like it couldn't get pitch. It's not next to her. She can't do the like the thing that you do where you hit then do the tambourine on on the actual thing. But there's modifiers, and you could turn those off. So I turned off the pitch, turned off the modifiers. It was fun as shit. And I could sit there and play drums. You have to sync the drums to the lag. They have a good sync thing.
Yeah,
And then we can just like download whatever packs people have made and just kind of enjoy it and bring up our we'll bring the band back together, Xander. Bring the band back together. But yeah, so I'll test that out with some controllers, and I think that's cool because you can also play online,
hmm,
and it has its own online. But then there's the other thing you and I have been talking about because we started to do some streams online,
yeah,
and walking the dog the other day, I was like, "Hey, have you heard of Parsec?" And because I was looking up like how do we stream like Vampire Survivors online?
yeah.
You have to like go to Steam, find the beta version. We both have to select the beta version, and then we can play online through the beta Steam for Vampire Survivors. Or we use this program Parsec, and we could play any couch co-op game on a PC together.
That's
That include
perfect.
that
Yeah,
includes like Steam games. That includes if we have a PC game, a Flash game, emulator, whatever. I think we can just like one of us has it on our computer and we start the session and the other person, I assume that like say you started it, I join it as like it's almost like streaming the Xbox 3 Xbox. I think that's what it's like. Like
hmm,
you're creating a cloud instance. So it'll be resource probably dependent, but it says it's free for personal use. So you and I just each using it personally, not for like a company. Um, we're good. And then we can maybe even play this YARG clone rock band stuff. Like we did whatever.
yeah. I would have to get a like the U one of those USB Guitar Hero guitar controller things, which is great because they're everywhere. Like it wouldn't be an issue to get one, which I'm that makes me happy that there's a way to continue to use these controllers because they
Yeah.
are everywhere, you know, like they're not just tied to something on the PS2 or the Xbox 360 that's really no longer in
Well,
use.
it's complicated. They're not Zen. That's why I'm shaking my head, but like the video goes back and forth when we talk. They're not like because of COVID, it became popular again. And so the controllers are impossible to freaking find for a reasonable
Oh
price.
no.
They make a PC one that's over $100 that works with everything. It's great, but it's over $100. Um, but so I, after COVID hit, we went scouring and we couldn't find one because we were missing like we needed two controllers. We had one and I couldn't find one. And then we found a ton at one place. We bought like we got like two or three extras sitting here. But yeah, they're hard to find now. So hopefully out in your area, maybe they're at Goodwills and stuff, but they weren't. And when you do find them, they're expensive now. They're over 60, $70. eBay's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I mean, you got to realize, like Guitar Hero and Rock Band, I think it was before 2009, Guitar Hero had six games.
Hmm.
In 2009, they released another six just that one year. That's what killed it was that
Yeah.
they oversaturated the market. Not only were there those six Guitar Heroes, but there was also three Rock Band games that year. So nine rhythm games in one year. And Rock Band was before with those six too. So it was crazy, like
Hmm.
insane how many. So it's and I noticed like when you're looking at song packs, like when you went to Rock Band online, there's like five or six known songs in a of song because they went royalty, like indie royalty, so that way they could afford to massively have a bunch of songs. So it kind of went crazy, and then when COVID hit, everybody's like, "Oh, we're at home, let's play Rock Band
Yeah.
together, let's play Guitar Hero," and then the shit shot through the roof because online everything went up in price. The gaming community, it's in 2021.
Yeah. Yeah,
Crazy.
it's crazy because I remember like if you went to a thrift store or flea market, yeah, I mean, if you didn't see anything game related, you at least would see one Guitar Hero guitar, or maybe like a
Every time.
I remember seeing bins, like big bins just towered with guitars. So now to hear how much they went up, I'm like, wow, that
Well,
sucks.
you know what happens when things go through the trough of no value and they're larger? they get thrown out. So I think that back in the day, a lot of the thrift stores just start tossing stuff out. It's the same thing with CRT TVs. Like they were
Yeah.
everywhere, and then they would get thrown out because nobody was buying them, and then it got back in where people want them, need them now, and they're impossible to find for a reasonable price. So you got to spend at least $50 to get one. It used to be a buck. It used to be free. You
Oh
find them
yeah.
on find them on the side of the road. Yeah, wild shit. So yeah, we're getting old, Xander. Old.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Parsec will be a really cool thing to do, and we'll allow listeners and patrons to say, hey, what do you want us to play? Because like even stuff like Vampire Survivors, even if we had other people, they could join us in it and play with us because you can play up to 4 players in Vampire Survivor.
And
There's
you
a lot
just
of games.
and you think about some of the indie games we talked about in the past where we would go over, the co-op and some, some Steam games are only couch co-op. So that opens up more options because, there's plenty of times we saw a game we're like, man, this would be fun. Oh, it's only couch co-op. And we're like on in two different states, so that's impossible. But
Yeah, yeah. You're the
not
state of
with Persac.
normalcy. You're the state of normalcy, and I'm the state of insanity. So.
Indeed, indeed.
Two different sites. Yeah, this of course there's a program that does it easily that we don't know. It makes sense to me.
Yeah. It's
And who's to say that it'll probably have its trials, but it'll be fun to do. And I'll probably have to play games where you just drag me along like Mario 3D World. 'Cause I'll be drinking too much.
Well, speaking of that, I got an indie game I want to talk about that I was playing earlier this week because it kind of leads into that. Because I don't normally play online. Matter of fact, when we were streaming, that was the first time I played online with someone in like a while. Like I don't really do it. But my friend Mikey, I do the band stuff with. He was like, "Hey," he was like, "You need to play this game with me called Wobbly Life." I'm like Wobbly Life. I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay, it's like low poly and it's kind of like I would say maybe like a life simulator because you can do all sorts of stuff. Like you can like buy cars and do jobs and stuff like that. But you can also play it like GTA if you want. And that's what we did. We went to this city and it was just supposed to be me and him playing. But somebody either on his friends list or my friends list or a complete rando was in our world. We're like, who's this person? We couldn't really talk to him because we were using Zoom to talk because we were playing on Steam. So I don't even know who this person was. But they were hanging out with us and we were just like randomly doing things. And then at one point, there's like a rag dog, right, like a ragdoll button that you push and you go ragdoll mode. And I did that and I couldn't get out of it. And the person ended up grabbing me by the ankle and was trying to take me to like the back of a truck and drive off with me. So then Mikey tells me how to get out of ragdoll mode. I get out, I jump out of the truck, and me and him start running away from this person because we're kind of wanting to do our own thing. And I find a helicopter. So I'm like, hey, let's get in this helicopter. We start flying the helicopter, and there's like this Aztec pyramid. Now, mind you, the person that was in our town is now on a jet ski riding up ramps in the middle of a lake. This sounds like a lucid dream. It's weird. So we find this Aztec pyramid and we go through a straight dungeon crawl. Like I'm talking about puzzles. We had to co-op and work out the things together, and you would get treasure. And you get the treasure, then we were like, okay, well, we need to bring this back to town and sell it at a pawn shop. Of course, we didn't have a car, so we had to find the right size cargo to hijack to put all of our chalices and treasures on, and then drive it up to the pawn shop and make some money. And I'm like, I'm gonna go get a haircut. That's wobbly life.
Did you get a haircut in real life or in the game?
In the game, I was like, I'm gonna go get a haircut. But it's
Uh,
super low. It's super low poly.
well,
It's
like when you sent me the video or whatever, it looked like a Fall Guys,
mhm.
like open world Fall Guys, basically.
Yeah, it's so weird, and apparently there's like a lot of stuff you can do in that game. You can even play. There's like arcades that you can go and play arcade games and stuff. But yeah, it was fun. I was like, it was one of those games that if anything, while you're talking to somebody and you're playing a game together, you could just play that because you could just do anything. We were fishing at one point. You can go fishing. It's cool.
Yeah, it's like a jack of all trades game.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
So yeah, it was an interesting little indie gaming. Other than that, I've just been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's about it.
I mean, and of course, I think we both played the randomizer for the week.
Oh man, it is crack. That is the randomizer last week was against Great Darkness. And I remember when we were first looking at it, it just looked like a bullet hell, maybe a bullet hell roguelike, but no. It's a bullet hell roguelike with Arkanoid elements.
Yeah, it's wild because you get to choose your character and everything's like neon for the character perspective, and everything else is like Game Boy or Virtual Boy almost like black with a single color. And then it's outlined when they shoot a bullet at you. So it's very easy to see the enemy bullets. Everything that's super bright is good for you. And as you're like shooting, because your ships automatically shoot, but as you're shooting, a little disc will pop out. And the disc, when you hit it, you can hit massive damage. Then there's
Hmm.
certain abilities that stack on it, and say you juggle it 3 times, it'll shoot like a big attack, which is really cool. And then, like as you progress, you can get 2 discs or 3 discs. You can get up to 5 discs, but it makes it harder to juggle. And while you're juggling, you're trying to avoid all the fucking shots. So
Hmm.
that's the challenge. And then, as you progress through in classic roguelike fashion, because level by level based, you do like 2 waves per stage. You get to either you get little events that pop up. So it's either you can go to a store or a shrine or do an actual special event. And so like the store will allow you to 3 different things that you can buy, and you can buy all 3. You have to do it with currency that you earn through every level. So you can actually just get more currency, which is another option. And that currency also unlocks permanent stuff if you die. So you don't want to spend all of it because you want some of it to transfer over. But then everything that you do, I think I've gotten up to like 20 something stacked abilities
Yeah.
going back and forth. And it's they have different bosses. So when you play through it, if you get to the end of a full like stage, which you go with multiple stages, when you get to the end of the stage, the bosses change every run. I've fought in the same boss a couple times. But I did about like 5, 6, 7 runs in the game this week. And yesterday beat it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
That's
first
real
time.
nice.
And in that, I did one of the special events, and I had to fight this boss in the special event. So special events are like, hey, you see a dog. Do you pet the dog or take its bone? I go, oh, pet the dog, like the classic meme. And then the dog
Yeah.
gave me its bone. It was happy with me. There was one that says, you got this thing, you can earn this special power, but you have to fight a boss. This boss battle was harder than the end boss. Literally had shields all in front of it that can't be penetrated. And so you had to, and it was very close to you. And then there's these arms that are coming down on each side that they had to continually dodge while your discs are flying, and the only way to damage it was to do the massive thing. Because I had this thing that would go through the shields. It's the only way I could damage it, unless you like banked it perfectly, the disc to hit it in the top. And so it was a long ass battle, but I did beat him
Hmm.
because the controls in this game are great.
Yeah.
Um, Wanted there to be touch controls, that actually would have been terrible. The actual analog controls in it, it's smooth, it feels awesome. You can avoid getting hit, so anytime you get damaged, it's your fault, not the game's fault. It's quick.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting it to be what it was. Like I was just thinking it was going to be another bullet hell, which I'm fine with. I like bullet hells, but I was like, oh, that Arkanoid element really added a little surprise to it. And again, for the folks that may have missed last episode with this randomizer, this game is 6.99 currently on Steam. I don't know if it's on consoles. I haven't looked that up, but yeah, I just been
I
playing it
looked it
on
up.
PC. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's excellent. And what I like is I like no penalty death Arkanoid. So when you drop the ball, there's no penalty. What happens is you have a combo multiplier every time you hit the discs for the Arkanoid style. But if you miss it, it just resets the counter. You don't take damage, none of that. So it's a no fault. Because I'm terrible an Arkanoid. Like, unless
Yeah.
I have an actual paddle in the arcade or the Voss controller on the NES, I am terrible at Arkanoid with the controller. But the fact is that the shots come up. Every character that I had, because I've have three characters that I've unlocked, and I use a guy who looks like an old Julius Caesar looking dude. His shots like kind of go all over, but but it's continual, so you continually get damage if you go through and like act it in. But the Arkanoid thing, like I had a badass, the one that I beat, right? So I had two familiars, so I had two extra shots going up, which was awesome because normally you have to be like right under the guys that damage them. So now I could damage them even when I'm dodging. And then once I did the three, you do the one extra shot. If I did a fourth, it like 100 times shot up tons of
Oh wow.
bullets. And so like I would do that and I was continually trying to and like destroying everything. It was so OP and I love when roguelikes do OP runs that you can run through. One of my favorite things about a robot named Fight, you need to play in Parsec.
Yeah.
That you can get some OP runs. It makes roguelikes
Yeah. That's awesome. Because yeah, that is one of the things about roguelikes. Like once you get to that like God level, you're like that's the moment that you're like, okay, this is why roguelikes are fun. Because when you get to that God level, like I remember when I got really good at Vampire Survivors and I got to the point where, I could go through the run with no problem. And I'm like, oh man, this is great. I
yeah.
feel like all the deaths, the countless deaths weren't in vain. Because now I'm like ultra
Yeah.
powerful and it just makes you feel like a badass.
Dude, I got to one because I didn't realize Vampire Survivors did an update where there's a story mode now.
Mm.
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a Contra story mode. Fuck, like you can unlock characters and shit. Like it's wild. Like I was playing it yesterday, just messing around, and it like says story mode now, and it unlocked when I beat a level. What the hell's this? So I went to it. I actually got to an OP mode where the red death couldn't kill me. The ones that come a million of them at you, I would just literally just leave it sitting there. And because I had two different modifiers on, it was like doing every time I got damaged, they got damaged, and my regen was faster than that. So it was like going crazy. And I was
Awesome.
just letting the money just go. And I think it was like I left it run. I went upstairs, did some stuff, came back, and it was still going. I think it took like 40 minutes longer. It
Freaking
was
love that.
wild. It was wild. It was so cool. And like basically I had to like move around to die. Like if I just sat there, I would have never died. Literally
Wow.
broke the system, which is awesome. They make it like that purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best feeling of Survivor Vampire Survivors.
I love it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
moving on though.
Well, should we get the
Oh,
randomizer
yeah,
game
yeah,
queued up so
let's go
that
ahead
way
and
we
get this
can
randomizer going.
Yeah, so we doing all games. You want to get ones that are actually installed that I've hand curated? Because if I do all games, it turns into everything that I have purchased that are also from like major games too, like
Yeah.
non-indie.
Yeah, we'll just do what's all installed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to be playing. Oh, what the hell is this game? It doesn't have a name. That's amazing. That's a good
The
sign, right?
the game with no name.
Bibots. 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 Reason why is because the actual picture doesn't have its logo on there for some reason. Hmm, interesting. Usually the logo pops up. Buybots.
Bye
Look,
bots.
look it up now because I don't know what Buybots is. I love when I have a game installed that I don't know what it is. It makes it fun. Down shooter roguelike. Well, it looks like we're doing another roguelike. This one's more Zelda-like though. Looks
Oh
like
yeah.
twin stick. Almost. I don't know if it's Twin Stick or not. It's a $13 game for anybody who's been following along with $13 game by bots released in 2022 by Square Squid. Mixed reviews, so we'll see how it is. Looks
That sounds like it would lead into a good discussion, mixed reviews.
and it looks very insane.
Nice, nice.
Be fun.
Yeah, I always enjoy the randomizer because I mean it's cool to have like kind of like it's now my weekly objective game. Like I have games that I play all week, and then I'm like, "Oh, I gotta check this game out." And when I used it at, it was because I had a review, and it was because I was working with a company. But this is just for fun, and it feels more organic. I don't feel like so cut on a certain schedule. Like I can just enjoy it. So hell
And
yeah.
nobody's like has any expectation out of that. We just give it a whirl and talk about it.
Indeed. Just like what we're going to do right now with the new and noteworthy. That's right. Every week we check out some of the new games, and it's been to say it's been overwhelming is an understatement because I feel like while we're covering games, like imagine a cabin, you got the door shut, and there's like snow. And like while we're covering the games, the snow is just like bringing down the door because man, there are so many games like every week.
Yeah. I feel like while we're talking about this one game, several more are released immediately while we talk about it.
Jeez.
That's what it feels like. It's just infinite, and I think at this point we're like 7 or 8 full episode worth of games that I've handpicked that are interesting to talk about, and like it's just awesome.
Yeah, and this one right here, like
Oh
speaking of awesome, I man, starting the new noteworthy with a bang is a Zelda-like adventure called The Girl from Arkanya, Arkanya,
no,
yeah.
and yeah, I think it's Arkanya. Yeah.
But man,
You know what's interesting about it is like people have asked me because I've done the Metroidvania Chronicles, and they're like, "Well, what are you going to do other genres?" I literally want to do the Zelda-like Chronicles, but I can't call it that because it's not just action RPGs. I specifically want to do action RPGs that are like Zelda but are like pixelated.
hmm
This game is exactly my style. This is the other collecting goals I have besides for Metroidvanias is Zelda style or action RPG style game, Secret of Mana, Zelda with pixel graphics.
yeah,
My style. Because once you get the 3D, I feel like it then turns into just basically we're playing Elden Ring. And it's
yeah,
awesome, but that's also an action RPG essentially, and it's Souls-like. Like it's wild. Like this right here, Zelda style. That's where I got my interest. Oh my God. And this looks like fucking Zelda Link to the Past, but with a capybara.
yeah. I saw the capybara and I'm like, hell yeah. And but yeah, the capybara and this like little warrior or whatever, like they team up and they do things together. I mean, it looked like it had a really interesting story, but I was more drawn to just the aesthetics, and I think that's really when it boils down to that 2D Zelda. It's the aesthetic of 2D Zelda. Like you look at it and it looks like something you would play on the Game Boy Advance. It looks like a Game Boy Advance game to me in a
Yeah,
charming way.
it really does have a feel of like Minish Cap.
Yes.
Well, Zelda Minish Cap on Game Boy Advance, which is not a bad thing. Zelda Minish Cap's awesome. It's just like the after Link to the Past when it started to do other things, and it probably has to do with the way that the character moves and stuff. And I mean, there's one screenshot, and I saw it's also in the trailer that looks like the Pyramid of Power from Link to the Past,
Yeah.
Golden Period.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a $20 game. Is there a demo? I don't see. Nope. There's no demo. But yeah, this looks like something I would really want to play. It came out on the 21st of August, so it's pretty new.
Oh yeah, about a month old now at the time of this recording, which I did it over a month ago to the list.
Yeah, we all know like a month of gaming is like a year, like no one talks about Donkey Kong, like we always talk about that. Like it's such a here it is, here it goes. And speaking of here it goes, here it is. Here's a really awesome bullet hell next in the list called a Blast Rush LS. This is also on the Switch, by the way.
They top down shoot 'em up. Looks more like shoot 'em up versus bullet hell, which is good because it's like fast paced insanity. I think it ramps up that significantly.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. And let's see, it's 9.99. There's a couple of bundles if you want to do that. But yeah, I mean, it looks good. I mean, I really like the bezels on the sides, and it's just got that classic shooter feel. What shooter would you compare it to?
It looks a lot like Blazing Lasers or the Star Soldier series
Yeah,
for TurboGrafx. Like it really reminds me of a TurboGrafx game, especially with the power-ups with the squares around them.
yeah, I like that. So, and I mean, I was about to say, this week, man, we got some like really good homage games, because that game earlier we talked about with the capybara was like Zelda-like, where Crescent Tower is like a love letter to, old school 16-bit JRPGs. And you had in parentheses, you're like Final Fantasy. I'm like, okay, okay, cool. And I have to admit, man, I really love these like 16-bit throwbacks to JRPGs that I never knew existed because I never really dived too far into Steam. But if you like,
Mhm.
Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy aesthetics, like, man, Steam has a lot of cool RPGs. It's
On
insane.
like these, you find infinite ones of these. This is actually though 8-bit NES style. This reminds me original Final has a
Hmm.
lot of the feelings. Maybe like more of a Final Fantasy 3 on the Famicom, where it was like you had the multiple characters, but then with like the uh, CD based it looks low res like little cutscenes, which is cool. So it was like very like cartoony, simple. Very it reminds me of like so you have the graphical style of like the NES combined with the 16-bit 3D based like interactions and talking. And it
Hmm.
has the side profile. The reason why I say Fantasy 3 is because some of the characters kind of look like the Onion Knight from Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
Famicom. Yeah,
that's
crazy.
cool.
Crazy. And I was released in August of 2025. All these games so far, nobody has there's not been any they haven't released anything else. That game. $10 game.
Mhm. And going into the next one, this is a little departure, a little bit, because this is man, it still looks kind of Zelda-like. But this is an immersive puzzle dungeon adventure in the spirit of 1980s home computer games. This is Dungeons of Dreadrock, and it's got very positive reviews. Doesn't have a demo,
The
sadly.
developer's name, Professor Dr. Christoph Minimir.
Very proper.
Yeah, like Professor Doctor is
That's
the
so
only
cool.
game that he's released as well, but it's definitely an interesting one. The graphical aesthetics are very basic, but by design, I think. And
Hmm.
it's exactly what an old PC game would look like, whole computer. But it looks very polished. Some of the graphics, some of the character models and enemies look really good. So it's just well done. Very positive reviews. Released earlier in 2022, by the way.
Oh wow.
3 years old. It got first is an indie class in Google Indie Games Festival. Like it won a lot of shit back in the day, and I've never heard of it.
Mm.
I mean, it won 7 awards.
That's crazy. I do wish it was co-op, but I do notice it says family sharing, so maybe there's something we could work out with that because I think that'd be a fun game to play together. A nice
I
like
think family sharing is you being able to share the game with another account.
okay.
But
That
yeah, it would be cool to play those games. We need to find a co-op Zelda.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because I think those would be the most fun. Because like
Mm.
when I was playing Wobbly Life and we were doing the dungeon crawl and that was like a 3D space, but working together doing the puzzles and stuff was really, really entertaining. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think that would be fun, especially in a live setting with, interactive chat as well. So they can, yell at me being like, Xander, you're an idiot. Like it's right over there. Like Jeff's telling you that's where the red switch is. And I'm like, I'm too busy checking out this next game that unlocked a core memory. Like
Well,
that segue
and
there.
we will play. Quest Master Online eventually together, so that
Yes.
will
Yes.
happen. And that's Infinite Zelda, so we will do that. We've already talked about that game. Yeah, but
Quest Master.
the next one, this is how you tell how far back our backlog is because this game came out last month, and to me, it was a big release. Nobody really understood it because this was originally it's based off an anime. I swear that there was an arcade on the Laserdisc back in the day, Dragon's Lair, but this is a full action shooter.
Yeah, it unlocked a core memory because I vaguely remembered this anime. Like I don't remember like watching it, but I remember seeing images of like the guy in the red jumpsuit. But yeah, it looks really cool. I love that old style, 80s anime like Galaxy Express 999. Daft Punk and all that stuff. So I do like the fact that it's almost like a run and gun shooter. I do like that. That it's not a point and click, that it's an actual like Contra like game. That's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, and it looks amazing. Space Adventure Cobra: The Awakening is the game that we're talking about, and it just looks really awesome. Obviously, I used to watch a lot of Lupin the Third back in the day, which Golgo 13,
Mm.
also. And so, like, this right here is like the classic same animation style. And yeah, I definitely remember like a few different Laserdisc games on the Daphne emulator later that were kind of like Dragons there, but were more obscure. And this was like one that just like there was at least it looked exactly like this if it wasn't Space Adventure Cobra.
Yeah.
Um, but like this is like full Contra with that animation style. It's so good.
Yeah. I saw that and I'm like, oh, okay. Because I saw the opening cutscene and I'm like, oh, this might be like a point and click, kind of like Dragon's Lair, quick time events or something. But no, it wasn't. And I'm like, man, that's really, really cool. Check it
That's
out.
wow. Yes. Now I gotta look. Space Adventure Cobra. Yeah, I don't even know. I could be misremembering it, kind of like your actually it's called The Space Adventure.
The space adventure.
It was released on Mega CD
Ah,
by Hudson Soft. Yeah, it's wild, right? So that's why I was like, because I just did the Sega CD book, and it's like, yeah, it's exactly that. It's like a quick time, but it's more like pixelated almost because it's on the Sega CD. It's a little window that you get, but it's definitely the character. It's definitely the same one.
that's cool.
Yeah, isn't that
Yeah.
crazy?
Yeah, I was about to say I've seen that guy before, but moving on, this game right here, I after playing Wobbly Life, I saw many similarities to this, but in the title, I was like, man, this might be the title of the episode. Just kidding. But
Fucking blow adventure.
a suck and blow adventure. This is ACU VAC, like VAC. But yeah, you're essentially playing as a vacuum cleaner. It looks like you're just causing chaos. Like this looks like a lot of fun.
Looks wild. Like it's like 3D, very minimal graphics, kind of like what you were saying with Wobbly Life, but you just have a giant, you're almost like an elephant almost, like, but
Yeah.
it's like with a trunk, but it's a vacuum, just vac, just making chaos, and it's $15, has a demo, very positive. And again, like it's to me the goat simulator style of games where you just run around and do craziness, but then there's little things like you can bowl
Yeah. I like
character.
that.
There's like boss and other things. Just my favorite, Afro Duck, Mr. Afro Duck, developer, Turtle Games. They have only done this game. Like everybody's only done this game, unless of course I'm getting something weird with the filter.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and like they might have like games on itch.io or something like that. Like we're just looking on Steam, so
Yeah,
um
exactly. Well, and you know what the funny thing is? You know what the first genre that shows up, user defined tag? Intentionally awkward controls.
oh, okay.
That's a feature. That's a feature to have intentionally awkward controls.
I notice a lot of sandbox games do that. Like maybe that's their challenge because there's really no challenge in the game itself in some of these sandboxes. Like some of them you just don't die. So maybe the challenge is the controls because some of those sandbox games, I'm just like, man, the controls are so janky. Like just trying to learn how to learn certain things, you know?
And this they sort of do it on purpose. Wild, man.
Let's see. And yeah, that's a Suck and Blow Adventure is a 14.99 game on Steam. And this one right here is going all the way back to like you put in almost like a Sega Master System aesthetic. And I was like, okay, here I go because I love the Sega Master
No,
System,
no,
but
no, 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 it doesn't. No, it
oh,
doesn't. What I put in the notes was it's a bad game name because it has the same name as a
that's what
Sega
it
Master
is.
System game. So the
Bad
game's called
name.
Quartet. There's a game called Quartet on the Master System. This is an amazing looking 16-bit RPG, like 32-bit RPG, turn-based role-playing game that looks like freaking Final Fantasy VI or Chrono Trigger or something insane. It looks amazing. But it's called Quartet, which Quartet already is a Sega arcade game and Master System
Yeah, it looks.
game. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, yeah, this is definitely not Sega Master System.
No. So like my notes was it has the same exact name as a Master System game, which again, we've talked about that though. There's so many games getting released, it's hard to find a unique thing. But when you have a name that's, you can easily Google and it has another name, just put a subtitle, Quartet, and
Yeah,
then put a subtitle to it. That way,
in
at
the
least
shadows or something, you know?
so we can just like find your game because search engine optimization is going to be challenging unless it becomes super, super popular. It's overwhelmingly positive for reviews. Everybody loves it. So it's a good thing. This is an amazing looking game. And they just added a hard mode to it in September. So 1 week after release, they released hard mode,
Mm,
which is crazy because if it's a giant long RPG, like people are playing it multiple times, that's insane to me.
yeah.
Like, definitely Final Fantasy 4 and 7, Super Nintendo Final Fantasy aesthetics. They even have the ship overview where it does the mode 7. They got a giant train, like all the things. I don't know if you can suplex the train though. Train
That
robberies.
that would be nice.
But it does give me the vibes of what was the game that we had played recently that I was playing the RPG that I was playing that the RPG but turn based. Recently, we were just playing. It had the two characters with the red and the fire and the water, and then they it reminds me of that game. Get that name.
Okay.
I'm not sure if you can think of it. We talked about it like for 2 or 3 episodes in a row.
I couldn't really hear. I was going in and out a little bit, so I couldn't really hear that last little part.
Yeah, it's when you're on videos, your thing has been glitching the whole time. As soon as we started doing videos,
Mm,
it's your got to be your Windows update, bro.
I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, it looks like a good game. I would want to check out. Like it looks cool. But it needs like you said, it needs a subtitle because
Sea of Stars. Sea of
Sea of
Stars.
Stars. Yeah, oh my
Sea of
God.
Stars.
I forgot about Sea of Stars.
Yeah, because it's been a
Jeez.
week. It's been a month. Yeah, it reminds me of Sea of Stars with the amazing graphics and stuff. Some tribute.
Nice. Now, the budget section is a little interesting because last week we went down the rabbit hole of Sokopop Games, and this has almost been like a budget series from this developer releasing games frequently, like these little micro games. And yeah, you found some games, and I was like, I want to see what they are.
Exactly. Yeah. So basically there were like what, 100 games or something
Hmm.
like that. And like I'm gonna have to look in my email real quick just to see what I bought last from Soko. Because I went down the list and got everything that was like $1.50, right? They were all $1.50. Some of them that we talked about I definitely got, but then there's some others that we hadn't talked about. So the Sokopop ones were the ones we were talking about, where they were doing like weekly freaking game releases and stuff, and they're all like interesting. So the ones that I got that looked cool to me, I got Clutch Ball, which is like an RPG dodgeball game. It was part of number four.
Hmm.
One called Frog Struggles, which looked interesting. Kart Kids, which is like a 3D kart racer. um, Featherfall, Kraken's Curse, which looks like almost like a Wind Waker thing. Like they all look insane. Like Helionaut, just like a crazy exploration game. Disc Party is like disc number 8. One called Ginseng Hero that I've seen for a while, almost like a Zelda guy, but he's like a little
Yeah.
tons and tons. I mean, I got a bunch. I think I spent $10 or what the one coolest one that I thought though was Flipper Volcano, and it's like a procedurally generated pinball game.
Oh,
So like this
cool.
pinball procedurally generated, and so that one they were all $1.50 when it was on sale. Yeah, I spent like $20 and I got like 10 games or something. It's
Yeah.
wild. I haven't
And for
played any because we've been playing. I've been stuck playing our freaking randomizer. But
yeah, that was a really good randomizer for last week. But yeah, I like this Psycho Games, Psycho Pop, I should say games. You'll notice it because a lot of the games, if you search for it, they have like a little icon of a red sock. So it's almost like they all had their own uniformic kind of collection. So I think that's really cool. And, like all the games are $2. And I mean, I remember at first when we were first talking about it, we're like, it's like $2. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get so many games. And you're like, I don't feel like spending $200 on indie. And I'm like, wait, doing quick math. Holy shit, that's a lot of money.
yeah. Now, nothing else this week has went under $2 that's been on significant sales, so I really haven't bought anything else. But I did find a rabbit hole to go under for indie games, which will be fun to do for the listeners. So, Blast Rush LS was published that we talked about earlier, published by indie.io. Indie.io is the website where people can publish their games and you can kind of donate, but they have a thing on Steam. So there's a bunch of indie games that they thought were cool enough to publish. So I'm gonna go through and see if there's anything cool here for a future episode. I think that'll be fun to do. So indie.io has a presence, 137 games on Steam.
Wow.
Like that's the thing. There are rabbit holes in indie games, everyone, that like literally just show us like how deep things go. And I heard somebody say on a channel or on a podcast or something that there's like 2,000 games were released last year. How many did we say were released? Way more than two, like 20,000?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like 20,000 games, people. Like not 2,000. People saying 2,000, they're not down the rabbit hole like we are. Like it's insane.
Not like I mean just thinking about it, it's almost like you take that one developer like Psychopop Games, you know, 200 games, like $200 worth of indie. That's a lot of games, and that's just him. That's just that guy doing his own thing.
Yeah.
But then you never know because that guy could also be working with someone else. They have their own little sub company that they're putting out stuff, and that's on Steam, and it's actually a prequel to another game that was on itchy.io. And by the time it's done, it's the episode's over.
Well, and like doing my research for the Metroidvania book, where I'm going to cover every Metroidvania game ever released, which is I'm insane. Um, I did that one, then I went to Action RPG and started to get the list going because I do research throughout the week. And the interesting thing is, and this has been consistent with both genres, is that the last 4 to 5 years makes up 75% of the game.
Wow.
So are you talking from the 80s till like 2019, 2020 is like a quarter to a third of the releases. And then the remainder of the 66 to 75% is like recent, which is crazy. And it's not to say any of them are more important. And maybe that 2000 that people are saying are like good games, but it's not for us to judge if somebody's
Right.
game is worthy of the list. Like to me, games are games. We then that's when we play and talk about the ones that like pique our interest. And so like I don't I 20,000 is 20,000. Like that's how many games are being released. And then it's like what are the levels is why they have ratings out there. And still
Yeah.
game people. They're still released. They're still a video game. Like
Yeah.
it's just whether it's your cup of tea or not. That's so it's 2000 good games, but like also like 20,000 every game, including non-indie. So freaking wild, man.
Well, I was going to say, I think this includes another episode, but before we leave, we have to give a big shout out to all the cool folks, our executive or your executive producers for your Patreon,
Patreon.
for Patreon. And speaking of like all these games, have we found out this game from Akaroth, this game that he's been searching for on our Discord?
Nah, I haven't even looked this last week because yeah, nah.
Hopefully one day, if we find out what this game is, I want to play this. I want to play this game. But
Hey, if
Akaroth,
he ever finds what it is, we'll play it for and talk about it on the episode, even if it's not indie.
there you
I
go.
will.
Hell yeah, we will
We'll
play it.
still play. We'll still play it. But yeah, and there's also David Isherwood overseas, so I got to be careful with all the damn tariff.
And the the one guy that's always suggesting killer filler, killer no filler games. Lunchbox, aka the disgruntled gamer from Thunderdome Gaming Society. He's always got some good games, man.
And then you got Jesse Glenn, who's always giving me recommendations on Kickstarters to back. And so if you follow me on the Kickstarter, you can see like I'll back stuff. It's usually mainly because of Jesse. It's his fault. And
Yeah,
I'll
and I
buy
also had to
so many
give
fucking cool games.
and I also had to give him a shout out too because he I did a stream a couple days ago of Donkey Kong Bonanza. He was in there. He was like a wild Jesse appeared. I'm like, oh, Jesse Glenn, what's up, dude? So it was the first time him and I got to really talk a little bit. Awesome dude, really really cool.
And, Jacob Hendrickson.
And another OG supporter, Brian Pittman Legrasti.
Yeah, maybe. But want to thank y'all for supporting on Patreon. As always, I am working on doing the next cool thing because I did a quiz with my last quarterly submission. So now pretty much everybody got the game and console right, which is to me. I got to do a couple new paintings for them, as well as working on what people want for the end of the year cover. One guy did ask though for a book cover for the Sega CD book, which would be interesting because that's a paperback. So I'd make like a little mini one. That so think about that, the Patrons. And the other piece is even if you come on late, you could still qualify to do that. You just have to supplement whatever everybody else had put up to the point. So that way you're at the same you can earn of the year. But you still get the quarterly treats every quarter do things and shout outs and all the fun stuff and access to the full digital backlog and all the fun, cool shit that I always do. And I'll do videos where I'm walking the dog talking about stuff. And the Kickstarter for the Sega CD book is still going. It's at 700% funded, I think, at this point, which is easy. And I'll probably do a week.
Nice, nice. Well, guys, as always, we want to thank you for listening. As always, happy gaming and support indie.
Do it.